This is Liz Berg for Smarts and Entertainment, and today I would like to discuss the 2024 Grammys. I was in attendance at the award show this year, and I thought it was one of the best that I've seen in years. The public opinion is seeming to agree with me. So I'm going to get into some of the reasons I think this was the best award show in many, many years for them. Also share some of my personal insights, videos, photos, and also answer some frequently asked questions about the Grammys. So what exactly do I attribute to this year's Grammy success overall? I think that there was a highly emotional connection with the viewers watching the night show. For me, it started with the Tracy Chapman, Luke Combs performance. Now, I read a lot of social media content, and I knew that Tracy Chapman was going to be there. It was spoiled basically a few days before the event, but the general public, most of them did not know this. So people were really shocked when she came out. And, you know, she hasn't performed in many, many years. People don't know much about what she's been up to. She looked great. She sounded great. People tend to love that song. It's a Grammy-winning song from many years back. And they performed it so well, and it tugged at the heartstrings. It hit. People in the room loved it. So that was the first emotional moment for me. The second one for me was seeing Miley Cyrus win her very first Grammy that was given to her by Mariah Carey, you know, a mega star. Miley has been in the business for a long time, even though she started really young, and she is super talented. And to see her win and how happy she was, that was really cool. The third emotional moment was Taylor Swift announcing a surprise album. Now, the reason that was a surprise was many people were expecting her to announce the re-release of her Reputation album. People were kind of expecting that. So for her to go out in this complete other direction, it simply shocked people. I was one of them. I was just completely blown away by that. And it was, you know, it was a moment for sure. Other emotional moments, Joni Mitchell. Oh my gosh. You know, what can you say about Joni Mitchell singing both sides now? I'm not even going to try to put it into words. How about that? Then you have Billy Joel, icon, legend, singing a brand new song, which is something we did not expect from him. And then the closer, the clincher, Celine Dion. Highly emotional. People have been very concerned about her or wondering how she was. This is another thing that was leaked, unfortunately. However, they did not leak the identity of the person that was going to announce Album of the Year. I had heard that there was going to be a global icon coming out. And I basically narrowed it down to two people. I thought it was either Paul McCartney or Celine Dion. Based on that description, they said it's somebody that is going to wow everybody. And I was like, who could possibly wow people with all the star power in that room? And Paul McCartney was in town 2 nights before for the John Bon Jovi Music Cares event. So I thought, well, could be Paul, but it sounds like it could be somebody that would really, really be a surprise. And so when they said global, I was like, Celine Dion possibly, but is she well enough to do it? So those were the emotional factors during the televised event. Now, when I speak about the televised event in relation to the non-televised event, let me give you some background as to what those two things are exactly.
Hey everybody, I am up on the actual stage where people walk to accept their awards at the premiere ceremony. That is the awards ceremony that takes place during the day, several hours before the night awards that you see televised. There's a lot of fun here. There's a pit orchestra. There's going to be some performances between the awards. It's going to be a fun time.
The televised event is the award show that everybody sees at night. That award show gives out approximately 14 awards. Now, there is a day show that gives out 80 awards. Now, the difference between the two, the late night show is in a building that seats 20,000 people. The day show is in a building that seats 7,000 people. The night show has assigned seating. The day show has open seating. So that's why I have a lot of fun at the day show, because I can roam and wander, and people are coming in and out of those doors all day long. People are going through the red carpet, coming into the day show, seeing if their award is up, and then possibly leaving if they are performing at the night show, or they're doing, you know, interviews. There's a lot of hustle and bustle, a lot of in and out between the first show and the second show. Now, the first show, as I mentioned, they have 80 awards. They also have performances that are very cool. This year, I wanted to share something kind of fun with you. They gave out like a little swag bag for people at the first show if you wanted it, and just show you. Now, this is not the big luxury item show, but they gave out this swag bag with like, this is tissues, mints, phone chargers, stuff like that are very practical, very nice. They also had some protein bars and things of that nature in there, but I thought I would just give you that little insider info. So at the premiere ceremony, they kicked it off with a really great performance of Larkin Poe, Sheila E., Jordan Sparks, Jay Ivey, and Pentatonics. They did Let's Go Crazy, and it was awesome. It was super fun. They had Sheila E. do a drum solo in lieu of where Prince usually does the guitar solo. So they kicked it off with high energy. Now, some of the major awards that were done at the pre-show were a lot of the rock categories, metal categories, alternative, bluegrass, Americana, country. I got to meet quite a lot of artists at that first show. And my question when I'm gonna approach somebody to say hi or take a picture or ask them a question or say anything to them is I am just trying to determine how can I best not disrupt what they're doing, and are they even interested in talking to people? Now, surprisingly, what I have found is that if you approach them at a good moment, when they're not in the middle of doing something, they are genuinely really, really happy to have somebody know their name and have somebody, you know, offer them a moment of support or, you know, rah-rah or good luck or congratulations. I have found people have been super receptive to that and saying hello to you. Now, what I would also offer as perspective is that these people are nervous. They are so unbelievably nervous. So let me explain. You know, the General Staples Center, which I think is called Crypto Arena or something different now in LA, that arena is very difficult to get to. They usually close down several streets around it as a security precaution. This year, there was also major rain and flooding, so it was very difficult to get to. And, you know, people are wearing really expensive clothing. Parking is awful. Traffic is awful. It is a really long day. So that pre-ceremony is 3.5 hours of awards. And then the night ceremony is 3.5 hours, usually. And there's about an hour and a half in between. So it is an all-day affair. So getting back to the people being nervous, you know, what I would say that people don't consider is that most of these artists truly do not think they are going to win. They do not expect it. And I think a lot of people think that it is not proper form to write an award speech. I think they're superstitious about that. Now, people would say, how could that possibly be? How can Taylor Swift possibly not expect to win Album of the Year? Well, in Taylor Swift's case, she's been nominated for 52 Grammys, and she's won 14 of them. So she has lost many, many more times than she has won, and she's like the biggest pop star in the world. So about speculation about her, you know, snubbing Celine Dion, in my honest opinion, watching her, I totally believe Taylor was just trying to remember who she was going to thank. I think it was no disrespect. For people who know me, it's no secret that I have been a huge Phoebe Bridgers fan over the last several years. I think she is the most talented lyricist coming up of a young artist. And I think I just love everything she puts out, from her, you know, original music to she does a lot of collaborations. And then this girl group called Boy Genius that she was in. So I was legitimately hoping to meet her the most out of any person. And I just did not think that my chances were good, because when there's a huge artist who's been nominated for Album of the Year, chances are they've got a lot of interviews going on. They're back and forth between the two venues, and they're, you know, they've got tents and trailers and all kinds of special areas for them to go. So they're not just hanging out, sitting around for long. But I was very lucky. I ran into Boy Genius, snapped a picture. They were completely lovely. Other people who were just amazingly sweet and cool, Tyler Childers, Samantha Fish, who is nominated for a blues album. She's a fantastic singer, guitar player. And interestingly enough, I ran into her while Jason Isbell was talking to her. And he seemed very complimentary towards her, as should be. She's very talented. She did not win that particular award, but she stopped for a picture with me. Louis Capaldi was nominated in a video category that he did not win. And then there was Metallica. So one of the things Robert Trujillo, the bassist of Metallica, said was that he is the only Metallica member that lives in Southern California, which is why the other guys from the band didn't show up, even though they were nominated multiple times. So I happened to, at one point in the pre-show, realize that Robert Trujillo was sitting in the aisle directly across from me. So I kind of went over to him, gave him a fist bump, told him I voted for him in one particular category. And then he was literally called for the award just minutes after.
Grammy goes to 72 Seasons.
Yeah. And then I saw him again and got a picture of him with the actual envelope, which is very cool. This is something I've never done before. And it was really neat to see it. It was really fun. And I've met him several times. He's a really nice guy. And congratulations to Metallica. One of the reasons that I think the awards were so successful is that I think there wasn't just one person winning 5 or 6 or 7 Grammys this year. There was a lot of love. You had Billie Eilish winning a few awards. You had Taylor Swift winning a few awards. You had Boy Genius winning 2 awards. You had Metallica. You had SZA. You had, you know, a lot of different genres. In the country Americana field, you had Jason Isbell winning. You had Brandy Clark winning. You had Allison Russell winning. Bluegrass, you had Molly Tuttle winning. And these are 2 of my fails. I saw Allison Russell up close, could not think of her name in the moment. Same thing with Molly Tuttle. I would have loved to stop them. They're super talented. War and Treaty, a lot of people have been seeing them lately. They are super nice people. I stopped them, was talking to them a little bit. They said this is their 2nd time at the Grammys, but their 1st time as nominees. Just, you know, I find people are just really happy to talk to people who are approaching them with kindness. You know, Calvin Harris is a major star, and he stopped to say hi to me, which was really nice. Then at the award show, it was crazy. Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen were there just having fun. They were stopped at the Wetzel's Pretzels, you know, just, you know, hanging out, taking lots of pictures, talking to people. I talked to Ted Danson about Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, in case you were wondering. One other major stop and picture that I am so happy about was Paul Williams. A lot of people don't know that name by name, but this is the man who is responsible for writing Evergreen by Barbra Streisand, Rainy Days and Mondays by the Carpenters, Old Fashioned Love Song. And the song I approached him about was The Rainbow Connection. This song has meant a lot to me, heard it a lot in my youth, and my husband chose it for his mother-son dance at our wedding. So upon meeting Paul Williams in the pizza stop of the nighttime awards show, that was the thing that I said to Paul Williams, was that his song was at my wedding. And he was genuinely touched and really appreciated me telling that, and wanted my husband to come over him, you know, come over to him and take pictures. And he was just really welcoming and cool. One of the things that confuses people year after year is, what is the difference between Record of the Year and Song of the Year? Song of the Year goes to the songwriters. Record of the Year, meaning recording of the year, goes to the performer. So, typically speaking, Song of the Year has traditionally gone to songs that are a little bit more lyrically based, that have more of a message to them. And Record of the Year tends to be more of the big hit that was just an undeniable hit. Sometimes it's a banger. Now, sometimes they have overlapped. Now, the difference between Record of the Year and Album of the Year is Record of the Year is just one song, one recording. Album of the Year is an album, typically 8 to 13 songs. So Album of the Year is the most coveted award because it is talking about a collection of songs. That is why people so desire to win that award. And Taylor Swift broke a record this year, being the only artist to have won that category 4 times. So another thing that was kind of funny was, I am a huge Fashion Police fan. I was a huge Joan Rivers fan. I saw every episode of Fashion Police, some of them multiple times. I saw every episode of The Osbournes. So what's kind of funny for me is, even though I recognize a lot of people, I did not recognize Kelly Osbourne as she walked immediately past me as I was videoing her. And the reason I didn't recognize her or even think about her was she was with the father of her child, who's a member of Slipknot. And I was actually looking for the lead singer of Slipknot, Corey Taylor, because I think he's incredibly talented. But they all wear masks. So it's super confusing. You're trying to discern which member of Slipknot is the member you're looking for, and it was utter chaos. And also, they were walking by super, super fast. Usually, I do not stop people if they're walking really quickly by me, because I figure they're going someplace and that they don't want to be bothered. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you like fun music content. I want to give serious props to the Grammys and their producer, Ben Winston, who has been doing it the last several years. He's making some major improvements. The awards were a lot of fun. They were moving at a pretty good pace. I think that they can still shorten it up a little bit and tighten it up a little bit, but I think overall they did a really lovely job. And I think also another reason why it was so successful was that generations, you know, were watching together. People and then their moms and then their grandparents could be watching the same show and seeing a lot of their favorite artists represented. I mean, there are young people watching for Olivia Rodrigo and Billie Eilish, and then older people, you know, going for some of those country artists and Americana artists like Brandi Carlile, and then people older than them watching for Joni Mitchell and Billy Joel. So a lot of great talent, and it's always an honor to be voting on this award every year, and I attend as many times as I possibly can. Thanks for watching.